This is Jambo Radio.
Alright guys, that's all for me. Up next, if you guys know, you know, we always have a guest artist in the studio with us. And today we have a singer-songwriter, a guitarist, also a lead member of a band. He goes by the name Matt, aka Brownbear. Hi Matt, how are you?
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing today?
Good. I was running late today. I was in meetings all day. So
yeah,
it's
busy.
Yeah, everyone always thinks music's just playing.
I know, there's so much behind the scene that goes on.
Yeah, it's all worth it though, you know.
Yeah, good. Right, I wanted us to start off quickly. I always usually ask people when they come in and they have like, you know, a unique name, I would say. You have Brownbear. What's that? Wait, before you actually tell us, I do this thing where if I see a unique name, I give my own reason why that name was given. Okay. So can I tell you?
Oh yeah, please do.
What I thought first. So at first I thought Brownbear, and then I saw your picture. I was like, oh, he's got like a full afro, and he has a little bit of a teddy there. So maybe he's a bit, you know, giving that brown, berry, hairy. Yeah. Is that? Am I close at least?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I honestly don't really know the real reason. It just kind of became a nickname and it stuck. So that's probably the closest thing. It was kind of that bear energy, and like, when I was younger, like when I was a really small toddler, I had this bear called Sammy Lucky. And I took him over and I was like Brownbear, and I kind of think Sammy Lucky would have been a cooler name. I don't know why I didn't trust my gut as a child, but I went for Brownbear, and I've made up countless stories since. Every radio show I go on, I make a different story up about what I'm called that. So whether this is the true one or not,
oh no, we would never know. Decide, yeah. We would never know. Okay, we'll take the story of your bear, your little bear. We'll take that here on Jambo, and we'll go with it. Hopefully, we don't hear a different one on another radio station. Then I'll come for you.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be like, that's not what you told me. But anyway, so you've been doing music for a while, and I know that you were in a band. Are you still in a band?
Yeah.
Or you So how is that? You've been doing music for how long now?
So I mean, I've been doing since I left school. I kept just doing music. I went to study music at university. I was in a band that kind of didn't work out. So Brownbear formed around 2014. So I've been doing the Brownbear project for almost 8 years now.
So what exactly is Brownbear project? What's the Brownbear project?
I mean, it's really essentially myself, and I have some. When we tour with a live band, we've got like an amazing bunch of session players, but it's a kind of strange one because a lot of the members are always consistently there, so it feels like a team, but I'm kind of free to go off and I develop the records and I go, hey, this is what we're doing, and we come back and do live shows. So it's allowed me as a writer to really experiment with genres, and you know, when you're a band you kind of start off with a more rocky sound naturally because of how you play, but as you grow you go, you know, I want to bring in a more soulful sound, and so really it's kind of collective, and we work with a lot of people in the background. Like we've worked with some filmmakers and stuff, and we made the videos that are kind of narrative driven, and it's been a lot of fun.
I was gonna come to your videos. Okay. We'll come back to that, but when you were speaking there, you said something about, you know, the genre of music that you do. Obviously your genre of music is more like the jazz, well, not jazz, sorry, you know, bands, drums, and what inspired that particular type of music for you? Was that the kind of music that you listened to growing up, or did you just pick that up as you grew?
Yeah, it's a mix of both. I think like I had such a diverse upbringing in music. You know, my mum was so into her soul and Motown, and my dad was like a big rock fan, so I had all these influences, and I was trying to figure out what it was. But I suppose because I played guitar as my first instrument originally, you naturally started to play things that are a bit more rocky, and you know, you're learning songs and chords, and it came out a certain way. But that's one of the things with the first record, that I'm really proud of what it was, but I never felt like it really reflected where I was at, because I listened to so much like soul and R&B, but I you know, maybe you need to be a bit more of a keys player for that, and at the time I wasn't playing keys, so that's I suppose that influence of the band came at the start, because it's where you're at, it's the tools you have available, and then as you learn to play more and you get more introduced to chords and
Yeah.
diminished in sevenths. I was like, you know, with retro and songs like that, there's a lot more of a soulful feel. And I was like, you know, that's, and as we get the second record's coming out hopefully next year, as we get through that record, we're trying to move towards a more soulful sound, because it's a bit more me, and I'm starting to play, hey, yeah, this is music I vibe at home. Like, the first record I love, I don't know if it's a record I would have really had, like, listened to myself
on your own
as much as I would the second. So like, yeah, it's been a really nice journey, and I think that's the thing about being a writer, though. You know, you're always supposed to develop, and you're supposed to test the genres. That's the beauty, because you're writing songs, you get to go, I'm going to I heard that song, you know. You never know. By the time I get to the fourth record, maybe I'll have been entrenched and listened to a lot of Afrobeats, and I'll be like, hey, let's experiment what it's like to write in that genre. I think that's the beauty of being a writer. You get to touch on different genres and make something unique. I think a lot of
artists as well, like in different stages of their life, they sound different. Yeah. You know, at a certain stage in your life, you might be listening to a certain type of music, and that's like what you could relate to at that point, and then you move on, you grow from that, and you're in a different place in your life, and something else is speaking to you. Yeah. So as an artist, you can be so diverse, and you can do different things. That's nice. So you were saying there, you obviously started playing guitar, and do you now play the piano? Do you play the keys now?
Yeah, I play keys.
So when did you start, and when did you first learn how to play the guitar? Who did anyone teach you? Were you self-taught?
I was kind of self-taught. I had a teacher for a while in school, but I started playing guitar when I was younger. I play keys now as well live, but I actually learned keys during lockdown. I thought, I should really do something with this time.
Yeah.
And I just sat, and every day I was playing, and I was like, you know, I think whenever you're musical away, you have a little bit of an understanding of something. Yeah. And yeah, I just was relentless every day. Got up, played, kept playing, and I thought. And the funny thing about lockdown was, I went into lockdown with a second record ready to record. By the time it came out, I had a different record to record. I was like, you know, I ditched loads of songs, and I went, I think I've got something new here with this piano sound. Yeah. So, yeah, guitar I've been playing since I was maybe, I don't know, 8. I'm 30 now. But piano has only been the last few years, so it's been,
wow. Yeah. Well done. It's really impressive to see when people say they self-taught themselves to play some kind of instrument, because I'd be there like
yeah, but YouTube's the way now. The thing is, I couldn't have done that when I was young, because you had to have a teacher, but now you can go on YouTube and
just learn,
just watch someone play, and they teach you how to play. So it's amazing, isn't it? Like,
that's great. So would you be playing for your new album coming up? Are you gonna be recording some things on the keys?
Yeah, so there's it's a nice blend. There's like, I think there's a couple of songs I played ukulele for. There's quite a few I played guitar, and then there's a few piano songs on it. So it's been a lovely blend of sounds, and it's been a nice, I don't know, I think it's interesting. Maybe people won't when they hear it, but for me it's been like a really interesting journey to push my boundaries as a writer and see what I can do.
Right, love it. Right, we're gonna go ahead and play one of your songs. The first one that I would like to get my hands on. When we come back, we'll talk about the concept of your videos, because all the songs that I watched on YouTube, I was like, different, funny. You know, it has something to it. But this one is one of my top ones. It's called Retro, by obviously yourself, Matt Brownbear. And when we come back, we'll talk about the concept of that video. Let's hear it.
I've been thinking about the old days. Remember the dial-up tone, chatting to some old flames. Mama waiting on the phone, and now I'm reminiscing split screen. We were playing on the 64, then we'd head to the arcade. We're trying to beat the highest score, and I've been praying for something special, but I'll keep waiting for something retro. And now I'm thinking about the next day. Can I even feed myself? to the way that it used to be. Trapped by nostalgia, only truth can set you free. And I've been praying for something special, but I'll keep waiting for something retro. Yeah, I've been praying for something special, but I'll keep waiting for someone retro, just like you.
Yes, welcome back, guys. If you're just tuned in, you're still tuned in to Jambo Radio, and this is the Music Request Show with your girl Chinny. We still have Matt Brownbear here with us live in the studio, and we've just listened to one of his songs called Retro. Before we went on that break, we were talking about the concept of your music video. Now, retro, I'll say what I've found. For retro, it was funny because you had like I don't know if it's a dad figure that was kind of pushing you to go on stage and like do your thing, and he had to like give you that, you know, that edge on, like telling you keep going, and then before you know it, you had all the crowd going wow 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 wow, and they loved it. So how did you and then your other song, the One More Night, that's the one you had with the puppet, and then you had a girlfriend that was upset with you at first because you were giving so much attention to the puppet. Guys, if you've not watched this video, go on YouTube, search for Brownbear, and you will see all his videos. Amazing concepts there. So tell us about your music video concepts. Do they just come to you, or do you like sit down and be like, oh, you know what, this is how I want it to go? Because it's really unique. It's very fun to watch. I love it.
I think at the start I used to pitch videos to people and they were kind of like, and eventually I met people who were like, hey, man, we love these ideas. I started making videos, so like, yeah, I always sit down and you know, you finish the song and you think, okay, you know, like how do I further get across a message of what that song kind of means? With retro, you know, I'd particularly in the genre we're in, you know, there's not many people of colour, and it was tough to navigate that because there was always this thing of like, before people were like, oh, we don't really know what to do here, you know, you're doing well but like you don't really fit it.
Yeah.
When I made retro, because it's got that kind of soulful, what my concept with retro as a song was like, let's get that groove, it's going to feel like a hip hop beat, but we're going to do the R&B chords, and we're going to kind of have this fusion thing. People started saying, hey, like your music fits your face, and I was like, man, that kind of hurts, because you're essentially saying that black people only have a certain sound, or people of colour. And so with that video, I was like, I want to have this guy who's a manager who's like, he's got the best intentions in the world. Like, so he represents the industry, you know, the industry has the best intentions in the world, but they're like, hey, be blacker, be blacker, hey, be a stereotype, hey, we can sell the stereotype. So, and then when I turn my back on the stereotype, he realizes, oh, actually the people love him for who he is. But then that's why at the end he runs through and he goes, I want to be part of this, and he's not, because he was too late. So it's just kinda, it was kind of a like,
now that you explain it, it's completely different from what I thought. Well, not too far off, but yeah, I get it now. And then with the puppet one, I had this idea of doing the puppet, and I guess because, you know, in the album cover I used that kind of face paint, and we have this kind of brown bear. What is brown bear? And I was kind of, you know, I would love the idea that like when I put on that face paint, that kind of African face paint, that it's like a whole new character. But and I was like, how do we portray that? And is it going to be too obvious if it's me and then it's me? And I was like, hey, what if we did it with a puppet? And they were like, yeah, that's kind of funny. And I was like, but by the time we were doing the video, you know, we'd had lockdown, we'd had everything that happened with Black Lives Matter, and I was like, how do we get some conversation around this into a video that's just about something else? But let, you know, when he confronts the guy in the pub, I was like, you know, if it's a puppet, you can be more cheeky, because it's a puppet, and no one would take too much offense,
and hopefully everyone can laugh at themselves and go, hey, we've been a wee bit serious for 2 years online, so we got to make the puppet, and that was just such a fun video to make. And like, I don't want to give too much away, but we're doing another video just now, and it's a kind of follow up to the first video.
Love to see. We will be excited to see that when it does come up. But yeah, while we were talking there, we mentioned a little bit about, you know, being a person of color, and obviously being from an African background and an African heritage. And here on Jambo Radio, we really, 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 really love embracing our roots and our African heritage. So tell us, what's your roots, like your African roots?
So
Where
the roots
from?
Me, it's Nigeria. My mum's from Nigerian background, so it's a kind of strange story. Her parents came from Nigeria to Scotland.
So your both parents or just your mum?
So no, my mum's parents, so what would have been my grandparents.
Okay.
And then my mum was put up for adoption. So she was adopted by a white couple from Largs in the 60s. So we grew up without ever really knowing anything more than Nigerian, and we still don't to this because there's no contact. So we have this kind of strange thing where like we know our heritage because my mum's Nigerian, my dad's Scottish. We have this like mixed heritage now, and we grew up in Scotland, but we know so. But kind of for me, it's a kind of exciting thing because, you know, when I was growing up, I really had to figure out what's my place in Scotland, because I've only ever known Scotland, but no one in Scotland sees me as Scottish, really. Yeah. And then I kind of grew in my later years, like into my 20s, started to find pride in blackness, and I suppose black as a concept has more weight to someone like myself because we can't say outright Nigerian, you know, and I think that's a kind of nuanced debate. And and now I'm at that stage of my life where I'm like, well, we kind of know there's some roots there. We're never going to find the family. So for me, with the third record, I always said, you know, I'd love to go over to Africa before I make this next record, and I want to explore what it means to me, because we have no direct links, but there's a longing to be there and a longing for, and it feels like home, you know, even though, you know, we grew up here and my mum doesn't know the family, like we know that is why we're here, and you know, I know the Scottish bit now, and I think the next step for me is finding out what the African side of my heritage means, and because I'm a musician, because I'm a writer, I'm like, I think that's going to form what happens next for my music, hopefully.
Beautiful. I think that would be so amazing, and I wish you success as you go on that journey, because I think it'd be so exciting just going back and just trying to figure out, you know, it will feel like home. I'm going to say it will feel like, because most people that are not even Africans at all go to Africa and just feel like, oh, this feels calm, this feels like settling. It's crazy, but you will also still get that sense of, you know what, I belong here, and I can be a king here, and no one is gonna chat to me anyhow. But well, good luck with that. Well, moving on, I just really wanted us to chat about your type of music. What exactly do you want your music to tell people? What is it? What do you want to achieve with your music?
I think I'm really striving to. I really came in when I came in to do this new record. I sat down and I said, "Hey, listen, I want to kind of create this kind of hybrid genre of like indie soul," and I was like, I essentially want this record to be Graceland by Paul Simon meets The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and I want to keep telling stories, and I want, you know, the first album there's a lot of stories about love and relation and loss, and in the second album I was like, I wanted to explore a bit more about what it means to be mixed and black in Scotland, and I wanted to explore equality and diversity, and I suppose like your quest as a writer is always to connect to people, and you want to, like, our job is to articulate the things that people feel inside but they don't know how to say. And when you sing a line and they go, hey, I've always thought that's success to me. Like when you put into words, hey, I always felt that way and I didn't know how to say it, and you've just sang it to me in 3 minutes. So I suppose like my mission with music is always just, I just want to reach people, and I want them to know, hey, like whatever that means, like, hey, you're not the only person going through heartache, hey, you're not the only person suffering injustices, or hey, like, you're not alone being grown up in Scotland being black, or you're not alone being a person of colour in Scotland. Whatever the circumstance is, as a writer you want to say to people, hey, you're not alone in this, and I have some words that might help you through it. And I think that I never think much more than that. I just think, I want to get out the music for me as therapy, and hopefully it touches people, and that's just it, you know. I don't really try and think any deeper. I
mean, I think that's, like you've said it all, that's the success. Once you're able to relate to people, and once, and you know, the people listening to you can relate to whatever it is that you're singing or you're trying to say, and that, then that's it, then you've touched somebody and you've done something amazing to somebody's life. And I always say music is like medicine.
Yeah.
It heals. If you can touch someone, you've healed them, like in a way, even if it's in the tiniest way possible. So I really love that. I love that. Thank you. We are gonna go ahead and listen to another song of your album. So before we go, you have 2 albums now.
Yeah, so one album's out, it's called What's Home. The second album we finished recording recently, so that's to come out, don't know when. I'm trying
very soon.
Yeah, we're trying to get, we do it all independently, so it takes a long time, but we're trying to make sure it comes out next year sometime, and hopefully people love it. But yeah, the first record's there, it's called What's Home. It's available on all the usual platforms.
Guys, you hear it here. What's Home, available on all the platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all the good stuff. Right, we're gonna go ahead and listen to this next song. It's called One More Night. It's the puppet one, which I like. If you want to check out that video on YouTube, please go ahead and do it. It's by Matt from Brownbear.
They say opposites attract, but every day I'm more like you. And no one wants for this to end, but we both know that it should. And we say, one more night won't give us. I've been no amount of time will save this love. To pack your bags, we're moving on to better things. You take one last look back, and desperate hope that things might change. And you say, one more night won't kill us, but no amount of time will save this love. But no amount of time will save this love. In the morning when it's all said and done, one more night won't give us. But no amount of time will save this love. In the morning when it's all said and done, why do we still hurt?
Yes, guys, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're still tuned into the Music Reverse Show on Jambo Radio, and I am your girl Chinny. We still have Matt here with us, and we've been chatting. We were talking about what were we even talking about? We're talking about your music and how you like it to influence people and all of that good stuff. And as long as you can relate to somebody, you're fine. Right. I just wanted us to talk about festivals, because I was looking when I was doing my research. I saw like you've done quite a number of festivals. Yeah. You also have you did the BBC introducing AA. Yeah. That was big. Tell us how did that come about? How was that? How did you find that?
Yeah, we'd been on a support tour, and we'd done some big shows, and then we got the call like last minute saying, there's a slot to go and introduce it at T in the Park. That's how long ago it was, before Transmit. And we were on really early in the day, so we kind of didn't think anything of it. We thought, like, you know, like, first slot, this is going to be rubbish. And even the BBC had said, you know, when you go out there, just take it for what it is, because it's early doors.
Yeah.
The tent was packed, and they were like, we've never seen anything like this. And
Wow.
when we started, there was just this real buzz of like, hey, what is
What's
Brownbear?
this?
Who's this? And yeah, and we've played some great festivals. Like, we got to play down in Hyde Park in London, and
Wow.
that was like the dream for me. So when I was like 16, I think it was 17.
Oh my God, it's been that long ago.
Well, I think I was like 24 at the time, but when
Okay.
when I was like 17, Stevie Wonder played Hyde Park, and I got the megabus down, and I remember standing and watching them, and I was like with my friend, and I said,
This will be me
this
one day.
is gonna be me one day, and he obviously was like, you know,
Dreams come true,
you know,
baby.
like 7 years later, I was like, playing in that stage, and
Wow.
I was like, man,
How did that make you feel? Were you just like, wow, I done it? Like,
I don't remember. I was so full of nerves, and I don't remember the day at all, because it was just this big haze of like, oh my goodness, something's happening, you know.
wow.
And then yeah, we got to play some festivals. We got to play in Switzerland in a festival and stuff like that. So I've been really blessed, you know, to get to go and play shows abroad and all over the UK and in front of a lot of people. Like, it's a privilege, you know.
Wow, that's good. That's really, really good. And you also really what's your favorite festival that you've been on? What's the best one that you've done? Like, you're like top.
I think maybe Belladrum up in Inverness. It's such a nice festival. It's such a family orientated one, and people in the Highlands have this real love and respect for music.
Yeah.
And I think because they often don't get quite
A
as
lot
many
of-
shows as
yeah.
Glasgow or
So
Edinburgh.
they really
They're
are
like-
into it.
Yeah, they get behind you from the start. So I think festival wise, it's definitely Belladrum. Venue wise, I always say Barrowlands in Glasgow is the best venue in the world. You know.
Yeah.
It's the greatest venue I've ever played. I've had
Wow.
the privilege of playing it. I think 3 times we've been support acts on it, and yeah, it's just there isn't a better venue I've never been. It's just got this aura around it.
Vibe.
Yeah, it's
I've
special.
actually only been to Barrowland one time, and it was for a Christian. It was for a Christian festival. It was a Christian crusade. So there was some gospel artists
Yeah.
came in, and that was the only time I've been there. I think I should go more.
Yeah, definitely. It was like the old ballroom, so the floors are the springs under the spring floors. So when crowds go for it, you see
Boom,
them.
boom, yeah.
The floor goes with them. You know.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Amazing. And you are one big Michael Jackson
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah. Wow. This is really this is the kind of research that passes university.
Done my research. I've done my research. Right. So tell me, what is it about Michael Jackson? It's the Thriller album you love, is it?
I think my obsession with Michael Jackson probably started when I was young, and it was the first artist that I heard that I was like, I want to listen to that, not because I like it, but because I want to know more about it. And then obviously, like, when he was younger, you know, he was always a bit lighter skinned and he had the wee afro, and I had the wee afro, so I felt like
You could
it's
connect,
finally someone
yeah.
that kind of like, hey, this looks a bit
Like me,
someone like
yeah.
me or someone I could know. And then I realised I got older, and then I don't know, when you're a kid and he's got that leather jacket and he's doing bad, he seems like a really cool dude, and you're like, oh my god, that kid's growing up to be so cool, and but the songs are amazing and
Yeah.
they're like iconic, and he just was one of the last superstars, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just obsessed, and I used to beg my mum every day, just Matthew and Michael aren't that far apart, just change my name, just like it's easy done, you know. And then you see him perform and he does the moonwalk, and when you're a kid again, your mind's blown for like the third or fourth time, and
Michael Jackson is
Yeah.
an icon. No cap.
yeah, no one ever touched that, you know. He was one of a kind, and he was the king of pop, but also, like, later on, as I got more into music, I realised that Quincy Jones had produced it, and like Quincy Jones, and that led me into like what else Quincy Jones was associated with, and I was so into Stevie Wonder, and then, you know, back to Ray Charles, and like Quincy Jones had idolised Ray Charles, and then I kind of like, instead of I worked backwards, and I found out about all these people, and you know what Quincy Jones has done for music, not just black music but music as a whole, is just exceptional. So I think that mixture of having so many people, and Motown's so fascinating because, you know, they had people coming in, like, apparently they had people like Frank Sinatra and all that coming in to do master classes for folk. And yeah, I don't know, like, Michael Jackson was just amazing, and I still think it, and I know people have their controversies, but regardless, the music is
it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll ever have another Michael Jackson. I think that was a one-time part of history, and to have been alive when that happened,
witness.
I feel like I was lucky.
How would you have felt if you had been for one of his live concerts?
I know. Well, I really wanted to go, and then he passed, but you know the old videos of him, and he'd come out and people would scream and cry and faint. That would be me.
I don't blame you. I would do the same as well. I love me a good Michael Jackson song. I love. Right, guys. It's been so wonderful talking to you, Matt. We've had a good time here. Just catching up and chatting. Just before you go, we're just gonna do a quick last question. I always ask my guests, if you had the option to pick two famous, well, not famous, like top two artists or musicians that you would love to work with, who are your top two? One male, one female.
Living, or they have to be alive, or?
Well,
I think so. I would say just now, Anderson .Paak is the male.
Okay.
I think he's such a cool vibe. I love his feel. I think he's really interesting, and I think female. I would say Little Sims. I feel like Little Sims.
Oh,
I think she's going to
amazing.
be. I think she'll be like the UK's Kendrick.
Yeah.
I think we'll.
She's amazing.
I think we'll look back in like maybe 10 years time and go, hey, she was like revolutionary. I think
we've not gotten it yet.
Yeah, she's not hit her.
Yeah.
She's incredible. But I think she's got something else to give that's going to blow everything away. So I would say Little Sims and Anderson .Paak for me would be my two.
Love it. Thank you so much, Matt, for coming in and chatting to us here at Jambo Radio. We are rooting for you. We're waiting for your album, your next album, or any of your new projects coming up. We'll always be here, play all your songs, and just keep the facts flying, keep doing what you're doing, and wish you the very best in everything that you do. Any last words you want to say to anyone listening, any younger person that maybe wants to learn one or two things from you? Any last words, advice?
Thanks for having me, and always just be true to yourself, be proud of your roots, be proud of your culture, and if you're a young artist and you're thinking about writing, like, there is no genre that's black. Like, you're welcome in every genre, and if your thing's rock, if your thing's metal, if your thing's pop, like, be unashamedly yourself, and don't let anyone tell you can't do it, because people who are from the African diaspora can do anything. We've proved it time and time again, and we're like, I always believe that African people are the strongest people on earth, so like, just go and keep proving that. That's what I'd say.
Love it. Thank you so much, Matt. And that's it for us. We're gonna end this right now with the last song that we have. This one is called Truth Without Consequence by Matt Brownbear. Let's hear it. When we come back, we will go into the album review this week.